Good evening and welcome back to Valkyrie Flight. I'm your host, GM, and Master of the Borg, Bazag. And welcome back to all my lovely players. Let's get into this because, well, we've got a lot to do. Or maybe we don't.
Wait, there's a Master of the Borg? I thought we were an autonomous collective.
You're kidding yourself. We're in a dictatorship.
Yes, apparently they got the King Arthur speech from... what's the Holy Grail? Or, no.
No, you're right, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. But anyway, let's start. Actually, to start though, instead of setting a scene, Lisanne, can I get you to do a insight science roll for me? Difficulty 1.
Okay, that's right into it. Do I have a focus?
No, I won't say you do.
Oh, cool. Roll 20. You want to freeze on me, huh? That's.
Oh no.
It doesn't like you.
Yeah,
I don't like you either.
I was waiting for Baz to say that.
Sorry, you said insight science with no focus?
Insight science with no focus.
Difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. Okay,
Bam.
you get a momentum, and okay, so just to remember where everyone left off last night, not last night, because we didn't do it last night. The crew just finished defeating the Borg, and after a brief moment, they all decided to go get some drinks. So what's happened is that just as you're getting ready, Lisanne, you remembered that you haven't deactivated the little Borg simulation that you had running to compare the Borg.
The scanner.
Yeah, that scanner setup. So it's just more of an annoyance than anything that you should just deal with to move on.
Well, I'll just like halfway to the turbo lift, I'll just turn around and boop, and then.
Okay. There's a reason why I did this. As you look, there is a notification on there that the Borg had done something that was a bit unusual. There was a flag that a science ship, the USS Valkyrie, had been destroyed when they weren't actually directly engaging with the Borg.
That's odd.
A little?
I'm gonna copy that information over to a pad to read more in depth.
Alright, so you copy the information to pad and take it down with you. So where are you going?
Yep.
Where are you going to have a drink?
I guess that's up to the rest of the crew.
We can say it's been like a couple hours, right?
Yeah, you can... You've got clearance from whoever you need to take, get a bit of R&R for now while the rest of the Starfleet Command gets things.
Yeah, assuming we're probably back in dry dock to get ourselves a whole bunch of level 1 diagnostics.
They probably put us inside Earth's space dock because we don't need to have things replaced.
Probably, yeah. So we're probably either like at a bar on Earth space dock, or I've even suggested a bar in San Francisco.
There's a great little Indian place.
Okay, so for now
Stefan happens to know it.
We'll just switch to the mess hall for now. That's not the best option, but the only one that I've got available to me at the moment.
I'd say probably someplace actually in San Francisco. Maybe about to say the Castro district.
You know what? Mazaka probably took you guys to one of his old haunts.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's a biker bar.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Okay. So you get taken to this biker bar and settle down, have some drinks.
How out of place do we look?
You look.
Not that out of place. There's a lot of Starfleet officers at this place too.
Okay,
They just aren't wearing. They're just wearing leather jackets over their uniforms.
I love it.
So it's not one of those rough and tumble, biker bars, but
It's classy.
there is a visual motif to it, but
It's like what a speakeasy would be today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Or playing Achy Breaky Heart in the jukebox.
What music do I have?
Please
for
no.
this?
Oh no.
I actually don't have any music for this. Oh, maybe wait. There we go.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh.
Sweet home San Francisco.
Wait, no.
There we go.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Imagine a lot of people are celebrating right now.
Yep.
So there is a bit of a buzz going around the place. I mean, people just encountered the Borg. A lot of people in the same situation as you, just wanting to
De-stress.
de-stress.
Yeah. Lots of toasts to the fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Jar's having a stiff martini.
Mazaka is having whiskey on the rocks.
Safan's actually having the same thing.
Really?
A whiskey on the rocks, or the
God, just imagining him having a martini.
No, he's having a whiskey, yeah.
Nice.
Lasan got one of those hugely sweet and impractical drinks with a curly.
Ren's
Good
got a
choice.
Long Island iced tea.
Ooh. Ooh.
Nice. Ted's having an Oaxacan old fashioned. Yeah, I looked it up.
All right, so your drinks are all settled. They're all delivered in front of you. You've got a reasonably large table. A few more come in, but it's starting. The place is starting to get pretty packed now.
Oh, right. Well, we just pulled off the impossible again.
We're getting too good at it.
Oh, that's all part of the job, though. Everybody okay?
I still
I
get a
mean-
little tingling in my neck, but they said that's gonna pass.
I hope so.
I think my pride is more damaged than anything else at the moment.
If you need a whetstone for those claws, let me know.
I might.
It
need
was
to
a
take
good
you-
effort.
The
Thank you.
counselor's effort was highly noble, if equally illogical.
How about you, Rogeson?
Well, doing all right. It is what it is, but I'm just
First
glad-
time in combat like that?
Well, no, but first time against the Borg. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that after it all, there wasn't anything major that went wrong.
You know, Iris, it's really, really fucking weird that on our first mission on the Valkyrie, when she first launched, those little fighters gave us more problems than the Borg just did.
I guess it's just one big ship. I mean, the Valkyrie's designed to be a single big hitter, and when there's all these little tiny ships, it's we can't. I mean, we hit just as hard, but I know.
A number of small craft can pose an annoyance to the targeting systems of a ship such as the Valkyrie. However, should we encounter that situation again, we have our own small craft to use as a counter.
There's also the fact that we've been planning for the Borg for almost a decade.
And that ship was designed to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Also, good call on the phase cannons there, Safan. Glad you talked me into it.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, so I don't know if it's classified yet, but because nobody told me otherwise, and Ted's going to put the pad out on the table, I was given some interesting information thanks to the reports coming in from the USS Enterprise.
No.
Turns out the Borg have some weaknesses. Rather glaring ones.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time we figured out what they were.
Mm-hmm. First off, kinetic weaponry.
You're kidding me. Bullets?
Eyebrow.
Good old-fashioned slug throwers. Bullets, batlefs, mechless. Apparently they're... Maybe. Apparently their shielding systems aren't designed to reflect kinetic projectiles. Or just stabbing him in the face.
Makes sense. Kinetic energy is different than energy discharges from a particle beam weapon or other forms of energy weapons.
Mm-hmm. They might have to break out a weapon project if they come back.
I remember reading there was a rifle Starfleet was developing when I left Utopia Planitia. I'll have to look into the research on that again.
Yeah, see if you can score the blueprints or something, just in case.
Aye, aye.
Perhaps I could be of assistance.
Much appreciated.
Secondly, and the thing I think most interestingly, the Borg aren't quite a collective. There was a first among equals, known by the captain, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, as the Borg Queen.
Fascinating.
Like an insect.
No. She puts herself off of that, but she has emotions, she has feelings. She operates at times in a illogical manner, and she seems to have an agenda. And I say she, as she identifies as an independent entity.
That sounds like a queen.
Would be fairly analogous to a beehive, I guess.
But a
Yes.
beehive, an insect queen, however, only manages the tasks of their drones. If this individual has a personality, its own agenda, then what we thought the Borg were, a collective consciousness that couldn't make mistakes because they didn't have a single leader, was a false assumption.
They have a weakness.
A big glaring one.
That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. I think it's actually holdover from the previous version of the collective.
That's highly possible.
But because of the Queen's position, she's not removing herself.
There's also-
Maybe they haven't adapted past it.
Or it could be that the Queen only gets involved in situations that it deems critical, failing to assimilate Earth. The last time, felt the need to come and deal with it personally. This time,
There was another thing about that. Apparently, there was a Borg Queen also on the previous cube.
So there's multiple queens?
I think a queen is created whenever the previous one is deceased.
So it's
Like
like a
a-
program.
That's
I feel like possibly the queen was originally designed as a a deciding vote in case the collective is split entirely on an issue.
Would make sense. Essentially, would be like an artificial intelligence designed to correct for a paradox.
Mm-hmm. Or possibly with even our own gel packs being able to make a gut choice.
And it gains sentience.
Well, that also takes a weapon off the table. The geometric shape that the crew of the Enterprise wanted to use against that liberated Borg. What was his name?
Howard?
Henry, something like that.
Something like began with an H.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that means that they are basically paradox-proof. The collective has an override function in the form of this queen.
Yes.
Nonetheless, the queen is vulnerable to a simple slug thrower.
Not only that, but she could be tricked.
She was tricked?
She was tricked by the machinations of one Commander Data. You really should have read support. It's freaking wild.
The android.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if any machine intelligence could outthink the Borg.
Indeed.
We've learned
I'm
so much.
I'm surprised they didn't attempt to assimilate him.
Apparently the Queen wanted a counterpart.
A counterpart?
Highly illogical.
That was apparently
Like a consort.
That was apparently the first reasoning for turning Picard into Locutus rather than just another drone.
That's... Forgive me for saying, but that's highly humane.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Although, it could also be logical if the Queen recognizes that as an individual she could be tricked. Adding a second voice to that goes back towards the collective whole being able to counter it.
Hell, maybe she's just lonely.
She has billions of drones.
Who aren't her intellectual equal.
They're
Because
drones.
they are not allowed to be.
Yeah.
Compared to her and her standing, they're worker bees in a sense, and she's much more capable than they are.
It's fascinating and it's crazy.
Can I get a copy of that report before it goes classified?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
If it is classified later, you will be required to turn the report over.
I understand.
Very well.
Also, don't get me started on what they were doing on freaking Earth in that time.
Oh dear.
What time?
First contact. Right before.
Humanity's first contact with the Vulcans?
Correct. At least a couple days before it.
That makes
So
sense.
they were trying to stop first contact.
And stop the formation of the Federation in the first place.
Well, think about it. If you were going to attack Earth, that's probably one of the most vulnerable points, with them being technologically advanced to contribute to the Borg's hive mind. Yeah, right after World War III, over 2/3 of the world population dead. Most of the rest suffering from radiation poisoning and various other ailments.
It would have been prime for assimilation.
Any earlier, they don't add to the collective. Any later, they pose a threat.
And it's...
As evidenced by the NX-01 Enterprise's contact with the Borg. Or with a species remarkably like the Borg.
Yeah, I imagine I probably would have gotten
Several years
declassified right around this time, out of character.
What's that?
Yeah.
I imagine I probably would have gotten declassified.
I don't think anybody knows about that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any those notes survived, because otherwise we have a cure for assimilation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm.
They might have survived, but not as Borg. It would have just been some alien race.
Yeah, some cybernetic aliens.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that the medical revelations surrounding the Borg keep up with the tactical revelations. Because stopping assimilation is still not something we can do.
Slow it down, yes, but not entirely stop it.
That's going to take years and years of research of people dedicating their lives to that.
Putting themselves at greater risk by having access just to nanoprobes is dangerous.
They might stay in the realm of theoretical for the time being.
Depends on what they want to do with all those Borg corpses the Enterprise we brought back.
They're being vaporized.
Wise.
Speaking of, are we vaporizing the ones that are in my sick bay?
We're going to turn those over to Starfleet Command, and they'll be taking care of the disposal.
Good, because they've been giving me the creeps.
Yeah. Also, I heard you blew up the engineering.
I only Kachara punctured a hole in the plasma coolant for the warp core.
Deliberately?
You used warp coolant?
It vaporizes flesh. And the
Well,
Borg
the Borg need their biological systems to survive just as much as their cybernetic systems.
Ted takes a long drink.
I may have also detonated a console to kill another one.
Man, I always said those things would kill people.
Who knew we could weaponize it to our own advantage?
Nonetheless, if we are to face the Dominion in the future, it may be to our advantage to find ways to damper such reactions rather than exacerbate them.
Don't worry, I have tons of designs for improved fuses for our ship. It always bothered me whenever we were at UP and they would insist on the lower grade issues. Work politics.
Ren's gonna take a long sip of his drink.
While this is happening, can I be looking over that report?
Okay, give me a reason science. Definitely
Excellent.
Let me check your focuses.
You know, people get on my case about time travel, but at least I didn't go back and tell about the fucking statue.
They told him about the statue?
They interacted with Zephyr Cochrane. They told him everything. Yeah, they touched the Phoenix. Not only that, but two officers from the Enterprise were on board.
Mazaka just breaks his glass. Like, you bastards!
Yeah, they were on board. They were part of that flight. Yeah.
Ren's gonna wave over a server to help clean up the broken glass.
I'm gonna
There
say
is
no
a-
focus.
There's like a little robot that comes out.
There's a great deal of leeway apparently given to officers who happen to save the Earth in the course of their duties, even if other actions would normally subject them to court-martial. Fascinating.
What were you saying, Baz?
No focus, but if you want, you can use a momentum.
Yes, I would like to take a moment.
Okay.
Because if you're named the Enterprise, you get to go with anything.
So as you look over this, the pad, you get the Curie was releasing a unfamiliar to you radiation is the best term I can think of, like to irradiate a small area of space. As you examine further,
All right, Joel.
that's sort of around the exact same area where the Borg did their temporal jump. This is doing something to that area, but prior to the Borg trying to go back to the past.
What you got there, Commander?
You do have your free question as a science officer. I'm going to give that to you. another question?
Yeah, hold on.
We're just gonna sit here and wait.
Okay. So you said it was a type of radiation, and that the ship was destroyed in a manner like unlike the Borg, like it wasn't antagonizing the ship.
It wasn't engaging the ship, and usually Borg only respond to direct threats to it. But for some reason, the Borg considered this worthy to attack. Whatever radiation it was spreading may have something to do with that.
Okay, do I know if there's any significant Starfleet personnel that were on board the ship at the time?
You're unaware of anyone in particular. The crew was. You decide to look into the crew a bit of the Curie, and you don't remember much of the names. It does mention they were on some kind of clandestine mission. There's a mission that they were doing, but there's no details about what they were trying to do.
Okay. Is anyone familiar with the USS Curie?
So it's named after the Marie Curie discoverer of radium and etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all got that. Mazaka's just gonna go, I remember she pulled into Utopia Planitia once. Nebula-class didn't work on her.
Might I be familiar with it?
It's not a particular. Give me a reason command.
Okay.
Difficulty. I'm gonna make this a difficulty 3.
Anyone mind if I buy a die?
Do
Go
it.
for it.
Okay. Do I have any applicable foci?
Let me double. Actually, yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Oh. That's not always a good thing with my focuses. Alright.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, you had heard of some rumors about the Curie, that it was being used. It was like sort of seconded. It's probably not the right word, but it was working alongside the Department of Temporal Investigations.
Oh, really?
The Curie. Can I borrow that pad?
I will pass it over. Apparently, according to some of the information I collected during my passive sweeps, the Curie was destroyed or severely damaged in a manner rather unlike the Borg. It wasn't attacking the ship.
Okay, as you look at the pad, give me a reason science with a focus.
Okay. I'm not going to take a die this time.
This will be 2.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. I say that, but I'm not sure I want to give you any more threat. Yeah, screw it. You know, I'm giving you a dive. Giving you a threat for bold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I did it. Jesus. 17 to 18s.
Ow.
Okay.
Ow!
This is something with the die. You're not getting, for some reason, not getting clear readings because this was passive. It wasn't specifically focused on there, and beyond the fact that it's some kind of radiation or energy field that is being emitted, you're not getting anything more than that.
I have not seen this kind of radiation before. To answer your question, the Curie was actually on loan to the Department of Temporal Investigations. which might
Do they
explain why.
have their fingers in everything?
Well, naturally, the department's not allowed to have starships of their own, so when they need to actually go somewhere, they generally are given. They're generally not quite given a ship, but still set by Starfleet personnel. They just kind of shepherd agents around at times. Runabouts are the exception. They're allowed to have those. But that might explain why he was targeted.
If they were doing something with time travel, they would probably have been wanting to make sure we couldn't follow them into the past for all the good it did them.
They didn't think we couldn't follow them. They don't know us very well. Although using a different method of time travel to get us to follow someone else is highly dangerous.
Well, file a report with command. They'll have to investigate it.
Yeah. And if we came to that conclusion, they probably already did.
Doesn't hurt to double check with them.
That's true.
They may not have noticed. I was running a rather specific program.
Yeah, sure. Just put it in your official report.
Very well.
Baz, I would like Mizaka to. He's gonna pull up his pad, and he wants to follow up on the whole projectile weapons thing by checking against not just the Enterprise but other ships at the battle.
Okay.
To see if anyone else had success with projectile weapons against the Borg.
Okay, give me, I guess this would be going through reports, so give me a recent command.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually do find that, I can't remember the ship name, but there's some one of the ships was, a test bed for the TR-116, and they do note in their initial report that's literally just been filed that the projectile weapons, the TR-116 did work remarkably well, had shown no signs of the book showed no signs of adapting to it.
Oh, Captain, I think I found the projectile weapon I was referring to earlier. Because I actually do know out of character what it was. It appears to be the USS Budapest. A Norway-class ship was test-bedding the TR-116 rifle. It's a prototype projectile weapon that was being developed for environments where energy-dampening fields or radiogenic radiation is present, and a phaser could not function. And they report having significant success against the Borg using these rifles.
Well, at least it's a better suggestion than what I was going to do. I was going to put forth.
Well, good news is that the plans for it are in our ship's database. They just probably figured we weren't going to use them.
Yeah, who knew the Borg could be vulnerable to being knocked on the head with a steel rod?
I'm starting to think the Klingons are onto something.
Now I'm curious, what was your plan, Captain?
Oh, I was thinking just replicating some, 22nd century weaponry or something.
It does raise the question of what in our database they might have been interested in.
Maybe they're concerned we're going to replicate a 44 and put a cap in their knee. That's the expression, right?
Iris just laughs, and yes, she nods. Yes.
That's a cap.
I'm not sure.
Isn't that a thing you put on your head?
Yeah, right? That's like a hat or something.
I believe it's actually slang for, bullet hole for some reason. I'm not entirely sure of the etymological foundation for it, but...
Oh, it's an old Earth phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps it bears a resemblance to a bottle cap.
Speaking of old Earth phrases, where the hell did you find this place, Misaka?
I may have been a regular here during my academy days.
Nice.
You do have that bicycle in the cargo.
Well, where do you think I, got to show it off?
You should just call it a bicycle, Commander.
Is that not what it is?
Motorcycle.
There's a difference?
One is motorized, one isn't.
One weighs more and does significantly more damage to my security officers.
You're just never going to let that down, are you?
Wouldn't even know the Vulcan to let go of anything.
The slightest hint of a smirk from Safan.
Alright, so at this point, Captain, your comm badge beeps.
Oh, dang. Captain Ted here. What's up?
This is Agent Jax. Captain, are you aboard your vessel?
No, actually, I'm in San Francisco at the moment.
Well, I would appreciate if we could meet shortly aboard your vessel. We have business to discuss regarding the Novinsky devices and other things.
Right. You want me to bring anyone of my crew with me, or just myself?
I would be more comfortable if your chief engineer were here as well. But as far as anyone else, that is your prerogative.
Alright. We'll see you soon then. Ted out.
Duty calls.
Yep. You all try not to have too much fun without us.
If you play on the pool table, it lists to the left.
Oh.
I will keep that in mind.
Alright. Got him, Zaka.
Fascinating that they have not corrected that.
And Kalani, by the way, is just sipping her martini on the end, just kind of not saying anything.
I believe, Lieutenant Commander, that's called a home field advantage.
We're gonna find out Loren's a big old pool hustler.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I assume Zaka and I, we go outside, and we get beamed up to the ship.
Yep. So about 10 minutes later, you get another beep on your comm badge. Let me just place you here first. There we go. You actually enter the transporter pad, and I can't remember if it's easier to ask for permission after you've been on board, or if you have to ask permission before.
You ask permission to board the ship.
But they did on the show is they beamed onto the pad and they asked permission. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just uncertain of the order. So, Agent Dax beams onto the ship.
Oh, dang. Hell fancy.
But unfortunately, it still sounds like the bar.
So we will...
A lot of people running around the ship right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We will just do generic hum.
Agent Jax, welcome aboard.
Captain? I believe I am here to collect the remaining Novinsky devices. Were they effective in their task?
Believe it or not, we never got a chance to use them.
Interesting. Well, I'm here obviously to scrabble records of the devices and the research that was done to aid in their production.
Right. Zaka, did engineering have a chance to disassemble the Novinsky devices yet?
When I last checked, Kachara was already finishing them.
Alright. Well, we can give Agent X or all the remaining pieces. And yeah.
All right. So I take it you lead her to wherever in engineering you've got the collection. You ready?
They're all four of them are like in a cardboard box sitting on the pool table.
Are they disassembled or still?
They're still intact.
Yeah, they're disconnected, but yeah.
Okay. Alright, she will just do a quick roll to make sure that nothing has been left out. Okay, and has 2 successes. Has anything been left out, or do you want to oppose that?
What are you?
So
I mean, if
she's basically checking to see if the devices are still as she remembers them being. If anything has been like accidentally, quote unquote, left off.
No.
Well, if she pushes that button, she'll get trapped in a temporal field again.
No, Masaka very clearly made sure that gave specific orders. They're to remain intact, except for their power units or whatever was used to power them, which had to be disconnected, so no one got accidentally trapped in a time dilation field.
Okay. Very good, Lieutenant Commander. Now, if you'll just take me to the computer core, we will need to scrub the Valkyrie's records.
Right this way.
lead on.
She picks up the box and starts carrying it herself.
Actually, probably like one of those plastic containers they always used. It's used as cardboard in the future.
No, Masaka actually did. It's like one of those.
It's like one of those what?
You know, like one of those file boxes that you like put folders in.
Archive boxes, yeah.
Yeah. Except that it's made of futuronium, whatever the hell they make it out of in the future.
she doesn't seem to, like, take a second glance at the box, the container. She seems quite content in handling the quote-unquote cardboard as she's led down to the computer core.
Agent Jax, can I ask you something?
Yes?
My science officer picked up something unusual during the battle. Apparently the Borg cube targeted the USS Curie during the battle, while the Curie was actually not engaging in any sort of offensive action.
Give me a insight command roll.
Alright. I am going to take a die.
Definitely one.
No, then I'm good. Let's see, it's about, what, 13?
Yeah, go ahead and take it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, take it just in case she contests it.
Let's see, any foci?
No.
I'm gonna have to, I think I know what town I'm gonna take next, actually.
Do you have it? You don't have anything for reading people, do you?
For reading people? No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm thinking about it. Alright, and... Snap!
Okay, so you get 3 momentum from that.
Good call on taking that one.
Oh, wait, hold up. Let's see, 4, 7... Okay, that should be 3. Because I actually had foci on. So that 2 should be a 1.
So what foci are you using then? Sorry?
No, I accidentally had it on.
Oh, okay.
So that 2 should be a 1.
It's still a good roll.
Alright, as you look towards Agent Jax as you speak, there is very much a sadness, a sort of a darkness that comes over, like only very briefly, but you can tell that there has been that someone has been lost. That you're not picking up much more than that. at the moment.
Hmm. Could I use a momentum span to obtain some information?
Okay, what information do you want?
Was the person she lost on board the USS Valkyrie her partner?
You get the idea that she knew them, but wasn't quite the partner. As you like try and think through the face, remember, there is also a sense of awkwardness trying to approach the subject. Maybe it's not so much for her, but maybe it's dealing with the subject with you. She takes a bit of a breath and stops in her tracks. Captain, aboard the Curie, Agent Doggett was attempting to prevent the Borg from achieving their time travel goals. Fortunately, she was lost.
Oh. Commander, why don't you go ahead and take her the rest of the way to the computer core?
Yes, sir.
I am sorry to have to be the one to share this news with you. If you'll excuse me. And Amzaka leads the agent towards the computer core.
Which I do.
You want to do
Ted's
anything?
gonna,
Yep.
Ted's gonna take a look in a moment to turn off one of the view screens on the wall and look at himself in the black mirror. No, and after that he ends up falling.
All right. So you arrive just as Agent Jax has started doing the purge. She has asked Mzaka to stand in sight, just next to her, so she's clear that he's not interfering with the task. She doesn't seem to have a very high respect for you or the rest of the crew of the Valkyrie.
Well, that's fine because fuck her too. But
she seems of a suspicious sort.
Yeah, Mazaka, however, is going to point out that look, the Borg were interfacing with their computer. We are concerned about that. If you don't mind, while you're doing deletion, if you can do level 5 diagnostic
Level 1.
Level 1, whichever.
They're probably in the process of it.
Yeah, in the process of deleting it, like make sure that we didn't have Borg subroutines in there, and that's not going to interfere with future ship operations.
Well, I will leave the computer security of your ship to you, Captain, but as part of our checks, we will make sure that there wasn't any unauthorized access.
The DTI is thorough, Commander. Just let them do their job.
Forgive me for being concerned with Borg interference with the computer core. I wouldn't want the Borg Collective to be getting into your records either.
Well, that's why we're dumping the whole drive, right? We're just going to go with a fresh install.
Alright, so that she is content in how the purge is going. She doesn't seem to have noticed the Borg have attempted to provide any steal this particular bit of knowledge?
It's not how they operate anyway.
I am not detecting any unauthorized access to this. Very well. That will be now purged, and there. I thank you for your cooperation, Commander, Captain.
One last question, Agent. Are there going to be any services for Agent Ogden?
There will be. Details have not yet been organized. I do believe there is also going to be a more general ceremony for other personnel that has been killed during this engagement. But of course the details are still being worked out as to time and place, etc. I'm sure you'll be briefed when the time is appropriate.
All right. Thanks.
She just slightly nods and... Very well, I will leave you to the rest of your duties. Thank you once again. If that is all right, I will make my own way to the transporter.
Sure.
And she nods once again and starts leaving, making way back the way you came.
As soon as the door closes behind her, Mazaka just turns to her and goes, "What a walking freezer unit."
Commander.
You okay?
Commander, the DTI does a very important position here within the Federation. They have to do their job, they have to do it well, and they have to be extremely exact, which necessitates a large degree of professionalism and a lack of emotional engagement.
So, like he said, walking freezer unit.
Mm-hmm. And Mazaka just kind of crosses his arms and goes, and...
So maybe remember that next time you remember that. Let's restart a call.
Ted, are you okay?
No, I'm not fucking okay. Damn it, I thought we...
Mazaka just hugs him.
Sorry, it's just... I knew Agent Dog at Monica for a while. She was kind of my mentor over there at the department. She looked out for me, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I just think you're taken out like this. Sir, I didn't mean to lash out, it's just...
I understand completely.
Yeah. Still, she did her job. Alright, I'm ready to get fucking drunk. Let's go.
Alright, let's get to it.
Yeah.
So let's skip a day or so. As just the details are worked out. There is just a general memorial, but also a personal, private memorial for Doggett. Her body was never found. The Curie was basically disintegrated by the Borg. There isn't anything that they found left to bury.
They buried the watch. It's protocol anytime an agent is killed that way or removed from the timeline. There's a watch with their name on it, and they're buried within they're buried in Greenwich.
So you are one of the few non-DTI agents that are there. You have been specifically invited. The rest of the crew of the Valkyrie, not so much, but you are allowed to bring some guests if you do choose.
I probably went by myself.
Nazaka offered to pick you up, though.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're in Greenwich. We'd be in Greenwich, England.
So,
I assume there's a lot of people there who are aware of me and probably aren't my biggest fan.
Most of the people there have been DTI. You know quite a few of them. Some people, a couple of them were one of them was the prosecutor. Another one was, well, not prosecutor, but just sort of were there and provided evidence against you when you were kicked out. Just sort of reporting its kind of character, kind of witnesses. And I mean, you don't really have a lot of friends, but they're respectful enough to understand that whatever their personal thoughts about you, they do know that Monica had a personal connection and was at least friends with you, so no one really, apart from some side glances, no one really says anything about it.
I also don't show up in uniform. I show up in a black suit and tie.
You at the end. I'm not going to go into the details of the ceremony, but after the watch is buried, you do have a moment by yourself, just at the grave, if you do want to say anything then.
Yeah, I nod to Luxley and Delmer as they're leaving. And now Ted doesn't say anything. He just kind of eyes the stone, the gravestone among a number of them, where all the DTI agents are buried when there's no body to be found. Ted hasn't had much loss in his life and is sort of reflecting on it. He hasn't really been on the starship that's been destroyed. And there's been losses here and there while he was serving on the Cardassian front, but ultimately it hasn't had much. Anything that was truly impactful, and this is probably the first time he's really felt that. He just kneels down, puts 2 fingers on the gravestone. As things are going, I may as well see you tomorrow. And he stands up and he leaves.
All right. I'm going to say let's skip to a slightly different kind of scene with Lasan. You had a scene you wanted to do?
Yeah. If during a time when like Mizaka and like the rest of the crew were on the ship, but like basically during our Lasan is gonna bring her family from ESD onto the ship to like give them a tour and introduce them to the rest of the crew.
Probably while we're all doing packing for our shore leave.
Yeah, probably. And for the most part, the only one who seems vaguely interested in anything is a younger looking female with her hair in braided buns, and she's wearing a skirt and like a long sleeve sweater, and she's just like looking around and kind of bouncing on her. And Ted would recognize her as Nisha.
Probably Mazaka too, because correspondence.
That's fair, yeah. And so if first up is going to be engineering, because she would.
Oh yeah. After putting in the new tube behind the warp core.
Right.
Lieutenant Commander, are we interrupting?
Oh no! These yard workers know what they're doing. It's an easy replacement.
Someone wanted to say hello in person.
Oh, hello, Nesha.
And she just like waves and is looking around and just starts like rattling off ridiculous amounts of information, like, oh, I know what that is, and that is.
And Mazaka's like stops after a second, like, why don't I actually show you? And show you some of the things that don't get put into the books.
And she will follow you excitedly.
Yeah, and he just spends however long Nesha wants, like, showing, like, okay, here's the regulations for the impulse drive, and here's how much you can actually push it.
Oh, God.
To quote Scotty, every engineer is a little conservative on paper.
Oh my God. And it's just like sparkly eyes, like meeting her hero.
He just shows her everything. And it's just like, we're gonna be a while. Go have fun.
And then I guess I will just leave them to it, and take. It would probably just be Anosha with me to see Safan and or Kalani if they are together.
Kalani is by herself. She's in her quarters right now.
Oh. Okay. Then you'll get a door shot.
Come in.
The son will step in. Am I interrupting?
No, I was just reading.
Doing a family tour of the ship, and I wanted you to meet Anosha. And you see a tall Andorian woman with long hair, who is very physically fit, has a large scar across her face, and is just like, she's in civilian, but she wears it like a uniform.
Kalani she gets up and she extends her hand.
And Anosha will.
Dr. Kalani Jar, Chief Medical Officer. It's nice to meet you.
And she says, I'm Anosha Chiregda. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Lisan will just give a small smile and kind of look to Kalani and be like, well, I just am kind of trying to show everyone who matters to me each other after everything that happened.
It's definitely understandable. Your mother and I have been through a lot together.
Partner. Anosha's one of the wives.
Oh, one of the wives. Yay! I knew that.
Awkward bisexual.
Complicated.
I actually just did the finger guns. Thanks, Don.
You're welcome. Wavelength.
And she goes, she actually says, your partner and I have been through a lot together.
And Anosha kind of grins and nods. You're the one who's been in her head, right?
One of them, yes.
Other one's a Vulcan, I've heard.
Yes, that would be Safan.
And she just kind of nods. And then kind of tugs on Lasan's hand, and Lasan just gives you like a wave as they head.
And Kalani just kind of, as she sits back down, she waves back.
When you're not a person of many words, but everything you say is just awkward as. Anosha actually has a presence.
And Kalani is introverting right now, like pretty hard, so the awkward's on both sides.
That's and then just kind of continue the tour until Nesha is free, and let her like run around and just experience a starship and be a kid / teenager. I suppose I say kid. She's a teenager.
She's about to go into the academy.
She's a kid. It's fine.
I totally you didn't pry the two of them out of a Jeffrey's tube.
What were they doing in a Jeffrey's tube?
What do you think?
Engineering stuff.
Uh-huh. Did it involve hidden stashes of alcohol?
No. No, it absolutely did not.
Okay.
It, however, entirely consisted of them geeking out and coming up with a better way to handle the EPS systems. So,
my god. And then it will be a brief stop with Ted. Because in spite of being an engineer, she's also interested in science, so it will be a brief pit stop with Ted. I brought you a child! Please enjoy yourself!
Oh, right. Nisha.
She nods.
Hi. Hey.
And she just kind of looks you up and down. A couple. I've seen the recruitment videos with the.
The what now?
They made a video with your face on it.
They did what now?
Starfleet.
I look over to Lasan.
Lasan just shrugged.
just to be clear, Nesha definitely told Zach, and he totally has downloaded a copy of it, and it's now spreading throughout the ship.
Can you show me this recruitment video?
Sure. And she like moves over to your console and pulls it up.
Okay, what is in the video?
It's just like a generic, like, you know, like a workplace like recruitment video of like, come here, we're Starfleet, we're awesome. And then like there's like a kind of vaguely holographic, kind of vaguely photoshopped Ted. And it's like approved by the first Delphinian in Starfleet.
I don't remember this at all. Wait a minute. No. Ted's actually going to pull out the console and actually start doing some digging. Can I check and see who actually approved this?
Okay, do a It'll just be a differently one reason command check.
Okay. That's 2.
Okay, so it was definitely the Delphinian royal family. Your aunt and uncle. Is that right? Whoever's the current king and I guess queen.
There's actually only one reigning monarch, and that would be the queen, and that's his grandmother.
Yes, so it would currently be the queen of Delphi.
Motherfucker! Like, Ted's kind of shaking a little bit with visible rage that he's trying to hold in.
Nesha kind of raises an eye. I mean, the integration work isn't the greatest. It's kind of funny. We made it a meme at school.
Oh!
Oh my god.
I'm a meme now! Great! Great, that's terrific!
I have a shirt.
Facepalm.
Lasan is actively laughing in the corner. And just kind of shakes her head and goes, she's not lying. I saw it yesterday. It says that the shirt is approved by the first Delphinian in Starfleet. And it has a picture of your face.
Of course it is. Oh my god.
I want this new moment where Kachara walks in to ask to disembark finally, but he's wearing this t-shirt.
It's available at the Starfleet, like, Academy's, like, campus bookstore.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to do something on this swore I would never do. Okay. Well, Nisha, aside from that startling revelation, yeah, so when are you starting?
3 months.
Oh, right. Well, if you never need help or anything, or you ever to hit somebody up for, any kind of, on-the-job training, let us know. Well, we'll see. If not us, we can certainly point you to a ship that'll get you where you need to go.
Sounds good. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, why not?
And she just kind of points to your head frills. Do those work like these? And she points at her antennae.
They actually go down a little bit. Like Tegan actually pull him flat against his head. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just, just like moving an ear.
Ah. So your ship's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, she's a beaut. All right, so I would absolutely love to talk to you more, but I gotta get to work. So
Lasan starts pushing her out the door, and like she's like, but, and like getting pushed out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And as Kachara walks in wearing the t-shirt.
Permission to disembark, Captain.
Granted.
By the way, they're replicating them down on the ship's replimat now.
I swear to God! He's gonna march out.
They're on coffee cups now.
Get off my ship! Make a mental note to barge into the Delphinian embassy at some point. Or no, I talk to the Delphinian senator. there wouldn't be an MC. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too.
All right. Does anyone have anything else they want to do?
I mean, I actually probably have something in Paris. But if the story's moving forward, then that's fine. I can wait. Lorraine, I swear to God. You son of a bitch.
Danny just mentioned that he's wearing one in his office, so and he has the mug.
Mazaka has it on his travel mug, and he may or may not have gone into Ted's room and put a sticker version of it on his tequila bottle.
Judas.
Yes!
Benedict Arnold's.
All right, so we got a bit of time. You can go to Paris if you want to. What are you hoping to do there?
Oh, he's going straight up to the Senate building, specifically the offices of the all the different Federation planets that are in this.
Yeah, hang on. I know the title of that. Thank goodness I actually keep memory beta open when we're doing this. So it will be at the Palais de la Concorde.
Yeah, there.
All right, so you arrive there with your diplomatic status and things.
Well, I'm also Starfleet captain. That helps.
Yeah, Starfleet captain. It does take a bit organization-wise to get, but you're pretty much seen to by the Delphinian council member.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly soon.
Specifically, I'm trying to get a hold of the Delphinian diplomat.
All right, so you find him sitting in his office, going over some information about about the Borg attack.
So to put it things simply, this guy's one of the field Delphinian other Delphinians aside from his immediate family that he's familiar with. This Delphinian is also one of his blood relatives. He's a cousin.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Ted literally just marches into the office. Like it's probably like a secretary, or probably like following after him.
Yeah. So he stands up and bows. He's learned to call you Ted by now. But you can tell it takes him a moment to actually say it. No, I got to remember not to call him by his title because it takes him a moment. Ted, let's see you again.
What the hell is this? And he's just slamming the T-shirt down on the table on his desk.
It was deemed by the Queen that further integration into Starfleet was necessary, and to use your likeness was the perfect way to strengthen and draw interest of the Starfleet to the Delphinian people.
I didn't even get a memo about this. You can do this without my consent now? I'm a Federation citizen. I certainly was before you were.
It is part of the job title. It is not what we want, but what is best for our citizens and us.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Don't give me that stupid party line bullshit. This was just to get at me, wasn't it? It's just because the old bat just wants to frickin'...
He just sort of stammers a bit and unsure what to say.
I swear to God, you know full well I want nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with her, nothing to do with little tentacles trying to grab at me. I swear to God, you get a message to her. I am not gonna put up with this bullshit.
I will as my job is, I'll make your will known and try to put it as strangely as directly and as diplomatically as I can.
I am not going to be her little pet captain.
It seems I've got a rather interesting letter to write, so if you'll excuse me, I should get onto this immediately.
Yeah, you can tell grandmother she's a bitch. And I turn around and leave.
Oh my god.
Joke is, there's actually a memo buried somewhere in Ted's spam filter.
Probably. He has them blocked.
There's a copy in Alpha Centauri. It's not their fault you didn't go check.
It was clearly marked in the triple sub basement.
So, as you return back to the ship, in your you notice you get notice of basically what amounts to the last will and test not the last will, but like a message from Monica.
I'll take it in my ready room. Yeah.
Right. So as you started up, she's sitting on a couch in some generic room. Yeah. Unsure really of where it is. Could be anywhere. She smiles gently and. Well, Ted, if you're watching this, then I'm either dead or lost to the time stream somewhere. I'm glad that we were able to reconnect after this time, and if I'm just sad that we didn't really get to enjoy it, I guess. I do want to sort of talk more about what happened with the DTI. This is probably I had hoped that I would have been able to direct and control the situation better than I had. Circumstances beyond either of our control dictated that I wasn't able to set the circumstances and frame the narrative as much as I would have hoped, and I am sorry for that. I didn't want you out. I just didn't see any other option before me, and I hope that no matter what happens to you, what happened to me, that you will know that you always impressed me. You always had that spark of life. Don't let this change you. Don't. Just continue to be your lovely, disrespectful, but a champion for your people and for the Federation. I'll miss you. And that's when it cuts.
Ted puts a hand up to his face in surprise that he's actually shedding tears. He taps his comm badge. Captain Ted, Lieutenant Loren.
Oh no! Did we lose?
You don't push to talk there, buddy?
I think
Journey.
we lost him. There we go.
Oh, no, I'm here. Sorry, it cut out for me, so I did not know who he was talking to.
Oh, you. Captain Ted, Lieutenant Loren.
Lieutenant Loren here.
Why don't we see about scheduling a session, Lieutenant?
Of course, Captain. Whenever you're available, I'm available.
Alright, sounds good. I'll be down in a moment.
Of course.
Alright, one last thing, as you're preparing to go, you get one last notification on your console in the ready room. The program that you'd set up to identify Keegan has triggered.
To identify what?
To locate where Keegan turns up on public broadcast. As triggered, you see it's out in Starfleet Academy as there's a news person who's going on about the class being fine, like the finals and last assessments and going on during the Borg attack. As behind them, there's this man that you don't particularly look, but as he recognize, but as he turns, the facial features, the marks, it's definitely Keegan. I'm just trying to find the output. Yeah, there we go. And this is, the hair's a medium brown, short hair, totally different to what you remember. He's in a Starfleet Academy uniform, just entering a building. The only reason why I caught was there was a slight turn face towards the camera.
When was this taken?
About 10 minutes. Give me a roll. Actually,
Yeah, sure.
Reason command.
Okay. I'll take a die for cautious.
Oh, look at this smug bastard.
I'm gonna reroll that one.
Okay, so you get 3. It is, it was only a difficulty 1. But, you get 2 extra momentum. You do get, this was only like a few minutes ago. You checked the actual news report and it's still going. But you don't see Keegan there. He's apparently gone into this building in the academy. What you do also remember with what being described to you, he knows about this program that you've written and being done. So this is, from what you can turn, a clear, I want to be known that I'm here.
Okay. First things first. I am going to find a way to. I'm going to take like a small pad or something, so I can take an image of Keegan in that address specifically his face and his current facial features, his hair, etc. So I have something to show.
So the facial features are exactly what you remember them being.
Okay, but I want that so I can show. I need to take that so I can show to other people.
Yeah. So you're able to get a shot of the hair. It's not a full shot of the face what you get, but you do basically get a side shot.
Okay.
One side of his face.
Right. Secondly, I assume that I wouldn't be permitted to bring a phaser down to the Starfleet Academy.
No, I mean, unless it was part of a training thing, any live weaponry would be considered a no-no.
Okay. Third, how quickly can I beam down there immediately? If I recognize the building.
You you would have to find the building. You have a rough idea where it is, but it's still
considering that we've all like I've gone to Starfleet Academy, would I be able to figure out where it was?
You could do a roll. Reason command, definitely one.
Yeah.
Okay, once again you are able to. This is a computer training area. You've never gone into this building yourself, but it from what you are aware of, it's used for more practical computer use assessments and training for cadets.
Yeah, no, Ted Sano's in the right mind right now. He's going to go by himself.
Oh boy.
So he takes all the information down. He takes the screening, and he just runs down to Transporter Bay 1, and just has himself beamed down to Starfleet Academy.
And that's where we're going to leave it for today.
God damn it, Ted!
Holy crap! The first he volunteers to come and speak with me, and then he just vanishes.